Okay, so your test is Wednesday the 5th of June, so you've got 1 week to prepare. And so far, we have actually done, very briefly, we've done area of circles and circumference of circles, so those are the two formulas. We've done area of triangles. The perimeter of the triangle, you just add up those three lengths if you're given them. We have done area of rectangles. We've done area of trapeziums and area of parallelograms. You get these formulas on the formula sheet in the exam, so you need to know how to use it. So you need to know that C is circumference, that bit around there, okay? And for area, you need to know that pi is a button on your calculator, which is 3.14 something or other, 3 and a bit, and r is the radius, which is that bit from the middle of a circle out, that length. Here, half base times height, you need to know that the height is the vertical height of the triangle. It's not the slanty height. And the base, so that's the height and that's the base. Here, base times height, we can call that base and we can call that height. Sometimes you could say width times length. It doesn't matter, you're just timesing that by that. This one here, you need to know that this is A and that's B, or the other way around, it doesn't matter. And the height, again, is the distance between those two parallel lines. So when you get that in your formula sheet, you need to know this, otherwise you can't use the formula. So remember that shape, when we talked about it, we said, well, in actual fact, it's two triangles, and they've both got that same height. So the area of that triangle, whoops, Control Z, better make sure that it's filled in. So the area of, the area of that triangle, pause, alrighty, got it now. So the area of this triangle here is a half A times H, and the area of this triangle here is your half B times H, and that formula is just adding those two together, and in actual fact factorising. Okay, so we've done all of this. Parallelogram, you just need to know that that's the base and that's the height, that way, not the slanty height. Don't be thinking of this length, you've got to think of the distance between the parallel lines. So, what is our lesson today? Our lesson today is this formula here. Okay, so we know all the other ones. This is the formula sheet you get in the test. So volume is base area times height. What does that tiny formula mean? All right. What it's actually talking about here is prisms. So it's actually saying it doesn't matter what shape the base of the prism is, you get the area of the cross section, and you times it by the length. Now I think I've made a little video on what a prism is, so I'll post that as well from a child's toy. So we've got that cross section stays the same the whole way through the prism. So when you're doing the volume of a prism, you get the area of the cross section and you multiply it by the length. So what do prisms look like? That's a triangular prism. Let's play. Okay, so that would be the area of the base here times the length of the prism would give you the volume. This one here, that area there, what shape is that? Trapezium. And so you would find the area of the trapezium and times by the height. Now it does actually work. This cylinder is not a prism, but the rule still applies that you take the area of the circle and you times it by the height to get the volume of that cylinder. Okay, so these are all prisms, triangular, pentagonal. You can even have an irregular prism. You might be given any sort of weird shape, told the area of it, told the length of the prism, and then you can just calculate the volume. So here we have the formula, volume of a prism. The volume of a prism is simply the area of one end times the length of the prism. And they actually have a calculation tool that you can use. So other things we should know. The sides of a prism are parallelograms, flat shapes that have opposite sides parallel. They'd all be rectangles, wouldn't they? To be fair. Okay, so here we have a prism. It's a triangular prism because the end is a triangle, and that is 3 rectangles if you unfolded that and saw the net. The diagram shows a prism whose cross-section is a right angle triangle. What is the volume of the prism? So what's the area of that triangle? 3 fours are 12 if it was a rectangle, but it's a triangle, so it's 6, yeah. So we've got 6 inches squared as the area of the triangle. What do we have to times that by to get the volume? 9. So 6 nines? And it's inches cubed. So we go like that. Oh, aren't we clever? Okay, so then it shows you the calculation. Area of cross section is this, and then we go area of cross section times the length to get that. Next question. This one here, can you see that is a trapezium? And these lengths here, sorry, these shapes here, what are all of them? Rectangles, aren't they? And so if you had to find out the surface area of the shape, you could imagine the net of that, and you could actually work out you'd have how many rectangles? 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 2 ends would have the same area. Anyway, for volume, how do we get the area of one end? How do we get the area of that end here? Nope, it's not behaving. Yeah? How do we get the area of that shape here? You've told me what shape it is, which is a trapezium. And what's the formula for a trapezium? Area equals? For top one plus the bottom one times the height. That's right. So the top one, the bottom one, and what's the height? 5. Not to be confused with the 8 is the length here. Okay? So the 5 is the height here. So we're going to go 6 plus 10 is 16. Half that, 8, times the height of 5, so that's 40. So the area of that, I'm having a bad day, aren't I? There we go. The area of that trapezium is 40 what? Centimetres squared is the area. Okay. Then we have to times it by 8, which is our length. So who can do 40 times 8? 8 and 8 is 16, 16 and 16 are 32. So we've got 320 centimetres cubed because it's volume. Back to here, click on that. Yes, well done, clever us. And we've got the working there. Okay? I'll post that link for you.